What's up, guys? It's Josh here, back with another Kansas City Chiefs related video. And today I wanted to make a video about the possibility of the Kansas City Chiefs signing free agent wide receiver Dede Westbrook. So it was reported by Josina Anderson of ESPN, along with multiple other sources, that over the weekend some Chiefs players reached out to free agent wide receiver Dede Westbrook to engage his interest in coming to Kansas City. And I'm not sure if this is just the players being like, man, it would be awesome if you came to KC, and they're just talking to him about it, or if Brett Veach is like, hey, any of you guys know Dede, like, hit him up, see what he would think about coming here, like, if the front office is actually interested, or if this is just more so of the players, just with having some wishful thoughts, if that makes sense. But that being said, I would be very interested in the addition of Dede Westbrook. Before talking about why the Chiefs should be interested in Dede Westbrook, let's just talk about who Dede Westbrook is as a player. So he was drafted back in the 2017 NFL draft in the 4th round by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Had a decent rookie season, 51 targets. He had 27 receptions for 339 yards and a touchdown. However, 2018, he had a very good year, 66 receptions for 717 yards and 5 touchdowns. 2019, tad bit of a drop off, but not too much. Still proved to be pretty productive. Back-to-back 60 catch seasons, because in 2019 he had 66 catches again for 660 yards and 3 touchdowns. Then 2020 didn't do much, but that's because, as most of you know, he had a very gruesome leg injury early in the season that put him on IR for the rest of the year. And that's part of the reason why he's still a free agent, because he's coming off a pretty major injury. And one of the reasons he fell to the 4th round in that 2017 NFL draft is because of the fact that people were concerned that someone of his size would be injury prone. He also had the off the field issues. He had some character concerns. I believe he was dealing with some domestic violence allegations back at Oklahoma. So someone with a little bit of a checkered past, and I think that's why teams cooled on him coming out of the draft. But oh yeah, and it was even reported one time that he was kicked out of a draft process interview. So that's never a good look. However, we know Andy Reid and the Chiefs organization is always willing to take on, former troubled players and, turning them into productive players and, better people. So I have no doubt that Andy Reid and Brett Veach might potentially be interested in Westbrook. And he has proven to be productive. He's a little bit of a deep threat. Has really good speed. I think he ran a 4.3 coming out of school. So, this guy is someone who has some game-breaking speed. He also has shown some decent contested catch ability, even though he's not the biggest guy in the world, just around 6 foot, about 180 pounds. So, yeah, not the biggest guy in the world. However, he still has the ability to get physical with defenders. He's also really fluid getting in and out of his breaks, too. A guy with pretty good athleticism. Now, a lot of you out there, including myself, might be like, well, the Chiefs already have like a bunch of receivers and a bunch of middling receivers at that, which is kind of what Dede Westbrook is. And they drafted Cornell Powell, they have Byron Pringle, they got Antonio Callaway, Demarcus Robinson, McCole Hardman. Like, that's a lot of receivers to have. However, why not just bring Dede Westbrook in on a really cheap 1-year deal? And if he makes the team, great. But he also provides competition for the rest of your wide receivers. So what if Dede Westbrook is better than them and beats them out? Some fans might be like, oh, well, that means, this guy might make the roster. Well, that just means Dede Westbrook was better. So if that's the case, then I have no issue with it. And Dede Westbrook is someone that I think could push McCole Hardman, which is, what McCole Hardman needs. He needs someone in that wide receiver room to push him, because they're almost kind of similar players. However, Westbrook is a little bit better at winning over the middle. I think he's a little bit of a better route runner than McCole Hardman, but they're kind of almost similar players in a way. They're around that same size. They both got the speed. Maybe not quite the X receiver, but maybe another guy to compete in the slot. But Dede Westbrook has also shown that he can give you close to wide receiver 2 production. We all know the Chiefs still have questions around that wide receiver 2 position beyond Tyreek Hill. Who's going to win the job? Cornell Powell is a good pick, but is he going to win the wide receiver 2 job right away? We don't know. Dede Westbrook could definitely be someone to compete for that role, though, and I would definitely be interested in that. And like I said, he's just going to push the guys that you already have in that wide receiver room, and at worst, he's going to be a depth receiver for you, and that's, a really good position to be in. Even though the Chiefs might not have that bona fide number 2 wide receiver that they can go to beyond Tyreek Hill, at least they got a bunch of other guys that you can still be comfortable with that are good enough to be a number 3 or a number 4, and, you'd have number 4s and number 5s that could be number 3s for other teams. You know what I'm saying? So, that's a really good thing to have. On top of that, Dede Westbrook also has a lot of experience as a kick and punt returner, which he did in Jacksonville, and God knows we need help in that department. Again, someone else to push Hardman, because I did not enjoy Mecole Hardman at all as a returner last year. So again, getting another guy that can maybe give you a little bit something in the return game, hey, I'm all for that. So even though the Chiefs don't seem like they need another receiver, I do find it interesting that other players are trying to gauge his interest in coming to Kansas City, and I think that's worth something. So I wanted to make a video on it, but I want you guys to let me know in the comments. Would you want to sign Dede Westbrook? What would you think of that move? Let me know. But with all that being said, make sure you like, share, subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. Really enjoy making videos for you guys, so I want to make sure we grow the fan base as big as possible. And make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com and kckingdom.com. That's all I got for today. Peace.